Hey there, grade 9s. Welcome to chapter 6. This is going to be lesson 1. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about solving equations by using inverse operations. So the first thing we need to know is what is an inverse operation. An inverse operation is when you undo or reverse the action that we had. Okay, so that's using addition and subtraction are inverse operations. Multiplication and division are inverse operations. So let's try to think about this logically. To undo something would have to be done first. So let's say we are going to wrap a present. So we're going to start with the present. Then from there, we're going to wrap it. Okay. Then from there, we put a bow. Okay. So to open the present, we have to do the opposite. We're going to have to remove the bow. Then we unwrap the present to get us back to our present. So this kind of creates a cycle of one thing and then the opposite. So we can use these steps to actually help us solve and kind of unsolve an equation. So here's an example. Basically what we're going to have is we're going to start with x equals negative 7, and we eventually want to get to 3x plus 8 equals negative 13. Okay. So there's a couple things that we can start with. So we're going to start with the x, we're going to start with the x equals negative 7. Okay. So normally our first step when we're talking about BEDMAS would be brackets, exponents, multiplication, division. So we're going to go to that one first. So we're going to do that multiplication. So we have 3x. So here what we have to do is we have to multiply by 3. Okay. So what are we going to get? We're going to get 3x equals negative 21. Okay. Our next step is we have to try to get this plus 8 in. So our next step is going to be add 8. Okay. So if we add 8 to both sides, we're going to get 3x plus 8 equals, now we have to go negative 21 and positive 8 is going to give us negative 13. Okay? So when we're going in the opposite direction, what do we have to do? We have to subtract 8 from both sides to get us from here to here. And then from here we have to divide by 3. So we can see that it kind of creates this little circle. Okay, this pathway. So on opposite ends, we are going to have the opposite operation. So from go to one thing to the next, we are doing the inverse operation. Okay, the inverse operation, which in this case is the opposite. Okay, so we can do some more examples of these. Let's start with something like this. So we're going to say 3 times a number is negative 3.6. So we're saying 3 times a number is negative 3.6. Okay, 3 times a number is negative 3.6. Okay, so there's a couple ways that we can kind of create this. We can actually say 3x equals negative 3.6. Okay. If we go this way, we would divide by 3. And then we can say x equals negative 1.2. If we go this way, we would times by 3. Okay, so we're doing that opposite operation once again. Okay. Let's try another one. Okay. Another simple one. Okay, let's say a number divided by 4 is 1.5. So number divided by 4 equals 1.5. Okay, so if I put that in my first box, n divided by 4 equals 1.5. Okay, If I want to go this way, I can multiply both sides by 4. Okay? And that's going to give me n equals 6. If I go this way, I would divide both sides by 4 to give me n over 4 equals 1.5. Okay, I hope that kind of makes sense. Okay. All right, so let's go to some that are a little bit couple more steps. Okay. So if we have something like this, so 4.5d minus 3.2 equals negative 18.5. Okay. So I can break it up this way. So if I'm going to start over here, I'm going to say, put this whole thing, 4.5d minus 3.2 equals negative 18.5. Okay, my first step when I'm trying to solve it is I'm going to add 3.2 to both sides. Okay, which is going to give me 4.5d equals negative 15.3. Okay, then my next step is going to be I'm going to have to divide by 4.5. Okay, if I divide by 4.5, I'm going to get d equals negative 3.4. Okay, when I'm going back in my other direction, I'm doing the opposite. So here I'm timesing by 4.5, and here I'm subtracting 3.2. So these operations that are directly above and below are the opposite of each other. Okay, so this would be solving a two-step equation. All right. So this is kind of the flow that we're going to be creating as we're solving these equations. We're going to do a lot more examples in class, but this is kind of a general intro to it. Once again, if you guys have questions, make sure you bring those questions to the Zoom, or just contact me through Hangouts. All right, have a good one.